Thank And we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Bullish Bears. We are doing our thing in the Discord. I'm here with Jeremy and the gang. Monday, and we are looking at, I've got Tesla up here, SPY, MES. I'm going to keep those up here with us. And we are looking at some options things. We got FOMC this week, so we got a lot of questions we're going to ask. My first one is, Jeremy, what's FOMC while we're looking at these charts here?
Just when the Fed comes out and starts talking about rates and stuff like that, their plans are to help quell the inflation and all the other pandemic type of stuff. Essentially, when they do that, you'll get some erroneous and very, very volatile price action. And usually it's like right up to the minute where, old Uncle J Powell steps up to the mic. And then immediately after, you get some like quick reversals that'll rip your face off. So when it comes to swing trading, we tend to kind of step back during FOMC week, unless we can lock in a position that can take advantage of that volatility. We will be pretty much sitting on our hands for FOMC. Day trade it, and I really love to trade a condor but usually I'll take it off for a few minutes before J Powell picks up the mic and pick up huge implied volatility that comes with options during that time.
Cool. So this is not a week to be trying to swing before FOMC?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it with like equity unless I can get some leverage in it. I wouldn't even mess with it.
So when you say equity, are you talking about like Tesla or one of those, or what are you thinking?
Like this, you'll get some whipsaw effect to it. So like if you're just trading shares, it can be kind of both an opportunity and a very quick way to end up getting FOMO.
Ah,
You go chase a rally, and then all of a sudden it rips your face off in the direction or something like that, and you're in shares. Sometimes you can't react quick enough to get out of the trade and cut your loss.
But those stop losses on your shares too, then.
That too. But when it comes to options trading now, there's a lot of gains to be made during the FOMC week. Huge gains. I've had positions on condors on SPY going into FOMC that just knock it out of the park right up to the minute sometimes, and then just clip them off and sit on my hands until it's over, and then start trading futures.
okay. So spreads are good, but not straight options, or even trading shares of stocks, unless it's like a penny stock. Penny stocks do a lot of things.
You can day trade your butt off. It'll really be some work, and you'll have a lot of fruit if you get some scalps in. But swing trading, it's like this is one of those weeks where you literally just want to sit on your hands if you're not experienced with complex options positions or good price action.
We got a high here. It's 10:20. So we've been going. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bars so far. This looks like it could be a pullback. Want to get my targets. So this is 100% of that move right now. If I remove my opening range, I've got some targets above me. I could hit 33% above that is about 40.87. We're coming down close to the 50% retracement of this opening low to the current high that we have right now. And a lot of times we're talking about those wicks and how to find those levels and those ranges, especially for using something like this. Well, there's right there's a wick for the morning low. It's the opening candle on 5 minutes, 5-minute chart. And then this is the current high of the day right now. And it gives us that range. And I find that by, this is the open, and this is our high, and this is, you see, we got a pullback. So this was the high at one point, but I'm looking for this one. We might get See if it can hold this 40, 61, 50-ish level. That would be technically the 66% retracement.
Hey, we might be in
Bear flag is about to bust.
Say that again.
The bear flag is about to bust on the gas right there. 5 minutes.
Yep. I was gonna say we might be. If you look at the 15-minute go yesterday to today, it's looking like the second wave of descending channels possibly back into the bottom of our liquidity zone too.
Oh, you're looking at this on the SPY, right?
Yep. Math where it's making sense. I bet if you drag your font tool down and make your X, it's a lot like a channel.
Hang on, I haven't used my SPY drawings in a while.
Tesla's looking for that 172 support level again, I think. Here.
All right, we're going to go from the high of Friday.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to that low from the Globex. And we're going to see, as Jeremy said, it wicked into the what? What did it do?
Word up.
Made me snort on that one.
I just got that X gonna give it to you song stuck in my head because it said X.
Yeah, X, good. You're so funny. All right. Well, there it is. There's the 50% retracement.
Break of the flag. Let's do this. Come on.
I just stopped at that break.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to color code these percentage marks.
Was that Ricardo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even what to do what Ricardo does, man. Stays in the background, listening to us say price is gonna go here, and then comes back and says, "I just make money."
So you guys know we don't tend to give call-outs here.
No.
Price action, so
Yeah.
we tell you how to spot and see what we're looking at. So
Absolutely. That is exactly right. And let's go back down here. Alrighty then. Now, let's see. Didn't quite get the reversal on the 15-minute on the opening. Which level is this?
bearish bat on Tesla.
Let's go to that. This is the bearish bat on Tesla. That's what you call it. It looks like that M top thing about to happen. And well, let's go look at that and see what happens there. Let me remove these drawings.
172.50 is the key pivot. 172 extension.
All right. So now,
My typical drawing.
all right. So if it's like a true like bat or an M top, then we can get down to 167.15 for a 100% move. Right? Usually that's what I find with the M tops. If you get an M top, you measure the peak. And that right there. And then with this thing, shoop, you got automatic levels. If you're looking at that, third and 33% type thing, that threes.
Right to the top of the box.
Now here's the thing on the bear flag for me. I got to see this break this moving average. See, we're above it right now, and so even though that's strong bear move, it still hasn't broken that moving average. So when it doesn't break the moving average for me, I wait. I want to see it close below a nice strong bar below that moving average. And we still have time for it to do that. Good. And you notice how a lot of times in the beginning of a candle, it'll give you a look. And if you wait, this is a 5-minute candle again. And if you wait on that 5-minute candle, it'll give you some opportunities to see direction. And you wait for that candle to close. Like it'll start off sometimes like it was green, and then it'll go red. The last few minutes or last few seconds, 30 seconds or so, it can go either way. It's pretty wild, but I use that to make my entries basically on a 1 minute chart. So I'm going to see what this does on a longer term. We're getting there below that moving average. I want to see if it'll close below it.
Here's 403.50, which is a key support level too on a SPY.
Yeah, and that's looking very much like it's very bearish at the moment.
Gotta say, I love those butterflies on Tesla.
I guess you do. Tesla coming back down.
My short leg ends up, or my short spread ends up being below what I sold it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And I see a reversal. I can buy it back, ride the momentum back up on the long side, and make even more on those butterflies.
Tesla could come back down a good bit. Look at this. Look at this on my chart. Can you see this? We've got
Oh yeah.
we've got these wicks up here. Come down a little further. We got these wicks here. Let's come down a little bit further. And we got this wick here. It's not getting in. Those are lower highs, right? That's what I'm pointing out. That's 1, 2, 3 lower highs. Regardless of this being 2, that's subdivision to me. I'm seeing that. So that's this is where you could come back down to there.
And we were kind of gearing up for profit taking to happen on Tesla. So
Yeah.
This is what that looks like.
Now,
That's making me feel like my constant spread is going to be all right.
I think so. I think 180 is going to be a key resistance zone. If you look at the trend starting at the low 140 from the 25th there, run it up, that's a rising channel. And we've got the third wave break going right now, just broke angular support. And, even the quant tool will tell you 50% retracement's all the way down.
now, I drew this box here because I'm paying attention to this doji right here on a 5-minute chart. This guy is right, the last candle in the pre-market, or the Globex, so we want to call it. And I want to see if price is going to come back through and break this guy here. And if it does, because he's right there on that moving average in this whole area of all these dojis, that's like a liquidity zone right there. See it? See that? So if price comes all the way back down here and breaks this, that's going to be bearish. But if price cannot break this, for me and what I'm looking at, then it's not, and it's going to be bullish and it's going to bounce. Because right now we're into the opening candle. That's this candle right here. But I pay attention when we've got levels like this, and you look, again, you look left and you can see, okay, that level right there is, to me, if the thing about a moving average is that's a line, but look at where it is, and then look at, where other candles are in relationship to where it is previously. And you get these little bends every now and then, I call them crinkles, and you'll see that a lot of times price reacts to it when it gets to the future. So those are areas to pay attention to, as well as wicks like this and things like that. So this could just be a bear flag, and it just hammered above. That range on that candle low is 7.75, so we'll see.
I am watching Amazon for this one.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is retraced. Again, these levels, the 66 and 33, that's really 66, and this is really 33. Though I'm gonna color code those before we do our little thing. Before I do some stuff this week, I'll probably color code them. But that 66% level, when it retraces that far, well, I want to see if it's going to break that level and continue down. I can take my time in making a decision to make a trade. And that's the beauty of spending time charting and just being relaxed about it and just waiting and watching. But I've got not as much as Jay, but I've got a lot of screen time now that I've had to be able to kind of but you see a pattern, you go, oh yeah. Might not even be something you see in a book. You just see it because you watch it every day. You go, oh yeah, it's one of those. So, yeah.
You get that lizard brain telling you, hey,
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I've been here before.
Yeah.
that's what it is. When you get that screen time, you get that muscle memory, so to speak. It just you know exactly what you're looking at. You know exactly what to do when you see it. You just gotta listen to the lizard brain once in a while.
Also,
Yes.
Well, it helps. It just helps you give those targets and
it does it so much faster.
yeah, and we're using that, I'm using that phase of the market, the three phases of the market, and using the number three, and you look at everything, and it's, what do we use? We use the 1, 3, and a 5 all the time. You see that 1, 3, and 5 everywhere. 15 is divisible by 3, right? 15-minute chart. 1, 3, and 5 are prime numbers. So, yeah. So I'm going to watch and see. This is definitely looking bull flaggish. But I want to see 2 bear bars close below this average. I want to see it move away from that average. See, when it's yeah, because when it stays too close to that average, nothing really happens. That's when you get range, and then you got to look at that. See, okay, what's the range that we're in right now? And when it breaks that range, if I can find the range, then I've got targets again using a quick tool like the quadrant tool.
Big 5-second double bottom. Might even go into an IHS.
SPY. And you see, you're calling it a big double bottom, and I'm looking at this possible micro double bottom on the 5. And this would be a lower high double bottom. That's what Al Brooks calls them.
And then Amazon, if it does continue to roll here, it's got a retracement target down at 97.50. If it gets there, I'll go long some spreads, I think, and then I'll try to walk some range to walk that into either a butterfly or a condor. They still have earnings coming out, so
Quick range adjustment too.
yeah. Their earnings announcement on the 2nd, I think, after hours. And they tend to get pretty volatile. The thing is, if you're gonna do debit spreads on that, you gotta be quick to take profit. Don't sit there and diddle with it. You gotta make a very fast decision.
All right, we're coming down to this level here. I got the 1-minute chart over there.
That's looking like a pause candle there. 5-second. Now we've got a 1-minute bear flag breaking over right now.
Oh yeah, it's looking mighty bearish.
There's a pivot at 4.3. That's where we're at. So the pause is 402.98. And take below that and start breaking into the rest of our liquidity zone. We can't hold support though, but
We're gonna see. That's what we're looking for. No quick decisions.
yeah, this is a wait for the setup and watch for the break.
Jeremy, Amazon is also on wave 2.
Yep. The rising
That
channel.
that can get all the way down to, you remember where you were like, I can't believe it, all those wicks?
Right.
I don't know what that cost.
Let's see. That was
98.50. I wanna
Oh
say,
yeah, from Friday. Okay.
yeah. Sorry, not from Friday.
Yeah, Friday pre-market. Those mat. It's like a big comb.
Amazing.
As people from my generation would call that, it looks like a fro pick.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard of a pro pick term in a long time. Oh my gosh.
My mother used to have one of those.
Really curly hairstyle?
I have no hair. But when I did, I had curly hair. Yeah, my mother had it really, really curly, naturally curly. Girls used to be all jealous of my hair.
Yeah, my second oldest
Also, that's a glare. Oh, so glow. Alright, so look at that divergence setting up right there, guys.
Okay, I see. You put that chart up.
That's the hourly. So the hourly divergence. So I feel like today we might just continue chopping a little bit, coming then level down. Tomorrow it's Tuesday. Sideways the whole day, then nothing happens. and then Wednesday, it was done.
Tesla breaks 1750 for 68.
Back to the open.
Mm-hmm. Back into that liquidity box there from the open. See if he can get past it. If not, we like you said, we might just range around a little bit. I was curious to see what was gonna happen today with FOMC and the fact that there's not a lot of econ.
I was expecting more of a range day today. And tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll have some volatility, of course, but yeah,
Wednesday's the FOMC meeting, right?
2 o'clock. My Tesla butterflies just roll. It's so awesome. Just sit there and watch it stay exactly where it is.
Okay, 402 there.
The hell it wants. I'm just looking for the bounce. When I see that bounce, I'll like buy the credit spread back. Right down the spread on momentum. Crush that position.
No,
It's still got till the 17th, so I've got plenty of time to mess around.
here we come. Coming right back down to this level we were looking at earlier. 10:38, 10 seconds. One of the other things I do, and I need to point this out to everybody. Let's see if I can get a screenshot. Yeah. I use the fool out of this right here. That is one of my best indicators. And I don't put that up because my account number's over there and part of it, and even when you hit private, it still shows crap. So enough that I don't like to put that up there.
I've got to eventually get used to TOS and start messing with it.
Well, you got enough folks around here that can give you some shortcuts. I mean, TOS is a beast. You know, I had to go through a whole lot to get mine to run right. I started off on a Mac, and then I learned that it needed that they didn't cooperate well with Macs, and so I had to go out and get a 32 gig laptop. And now I realize I probably should have got a 64 gig desktop, but it's what I have. But the settings when you first sign in, before you sign in, it gives you a little wheel. You got to go in there and figure out your bit rate, what your bit rate is, and for your RAM or something. I can't remember now. It's so long ago. And I was having problems with. Oh, there's a lot of stuff you got to do with it. You got to get it set right. That's why it's a cumbersome. It's very difficult to learn at first. But once the thing that helped me was, I went and looked for a few videos on how to set up my my DOM, and I found a good video by a guy. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's expensive, and I don't think he's a really nice guy, but he did have a great video on how to do this thing, and I learned a lot from it on how to set it up. And yeah, I think SIG took a year to learn it. So we're breaking into this zone right here. For me, this is an important zone to look at here. That is the open. We've wicked into that now.
Turning on my Bollinger Bands. Aha.
4051. This line right here. This is from this morning's volume profile. So you're seeing over here, I can just. This is where I go get my lines, and you can look at this volume profile, and just from here to here's another volume profile, and here's another volume profile. So you see a lot of times when price breaks one of those, it'll go to the next one, it'll go to the next one. Well, I got another one down here at 40.42.87, which is, it's probably not 87, but that's the one drag about TOS in the futures. All right, so we broke that level. We broke that doji there I was watching, and we've completed 100% retracement now of the open. And we've got 1, 2, and if this is the third one, we'll have 3 bear bars closing near their lows. But we still got a few minutes on this one.
Stone, you want to play dirty?
Oh, turning my Bollinger Bands. Oh, Lord.
Oh, you're gonna see what I see
Let's see. On who?
on SPY, Amazon, and Tesla. This is a bear trend.
Let's see.
The 1 minute, you'll see where the lower band is. Wow. This is one of those trends I would streak.
Hang on, I gotta see where my thing is. The Spartan. You see it? See what I have there?
All right.
I have this called the Spartan.
Yes.
Bam!
And a 5 minute lower band sits right.
Ooh, I see that.
It's starting to curl down. This momentum continues for the next 2 1 minute candles. It can go and bend that 5 minute lower band over to start to trend below the Globex mid range, which is right about 402. So if it starts to gain momentum here, we can make a bearish measurement move. Third leg, out of Friday's high up to the close,
Mm-hmm.
plus gap, that would take us down to about 399.
We do have a bear the hourly. Yes.
Closes like that, it will.
Good. Well, we got 15 minutes. Man.
Oh, look at that.
One of the targets on the way to the next one, so it could go to the 41.75.
Hmm.
Now, 9.7 is the next one.
Today's a great day for the 8 period and Bollinger Bands. It's just one of those setups.
Oh, I'm looking at it right here. That's my 8. This is the 200. This is your 20, right?
Yeah,
The middle one's the 20?
middle band is the 20. Let's see, someone's saying we got an audio issue. I'm betting they're talking about the people talking.
Mm-hmm.
Snowing on YouTube. there.
Yeah, I still hadn't figured that stuff out. I'm looking for somebody to give me a shortcut on that. That's a lot of... Say what? Oh, okay.
On Amazon, go lower. I want to pick up a split on that. I might even be able to leg that into a condor to hold 2 earnings and then butterfly it right up before the close.
Time is it? 10:40. We're going to get a 15-minute candle close. 15-minute candle close coming up. I like to look left to see where we are. You see this conglomeration of candles right here on the 15-minute chart? That's where we are right now. That's a doji fest, Jack. That is. Look at that. Let's go get one of these right, yeah.
Lower band just bent over to 401.90, so I think we might. If we get 2 more bearish 1 minute candles, in that trend down to first it'll be 402 even, second 401.
Okay, so that's.
For the longest time, I mean, I still call them my training wheels for price action when it comes to Bollinger Bands.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you'll see a good day, even though you're got all these other tools to use. Sometimes you'll find it really easy to just let the bands tell you what to do on a day like today. It's kind of rare, but it does happen where you can dictate an entire trend, the Bollinger Bands, and just nail every stinking candle.
Well, the Bollinger Bands are great. Now, all right, here we are. We got to break this level. If it's going to continue bearish, this is the, we've come all the way back to the open here on, who is this? Wait a minute. Why does that look so different?
It'll tweak your charts a little bit when you throw the Bollinger.
Oh, never mind. I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a different time frame on a different chart. All right, there you go. There's a push. It's riding that lower band. the SPY. Hang on a second.
Printing a dragonfly.
Yeah, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe not. There it goes. There it goes.
Close to Tootsie Roll.
Still trying to finish up wave 3 here.
If we get a hammer here, we can actually turn this into a little morning star and break the barrier. It's not looking like it wants to. The Bollinger Bands are still nice and wide.
That can only get what? 32% right now.
40180 is still on the table. In fact, the lower band is sitting at 40187 right now on the 5 minute.
It's a lot of bear move, but that's big bear move right there. Look at that. That's a bear breakout. One pullback in a 5 minute. On a 5 minute chart, look at that. That's a channel.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to channel, trading range, or a breakout. And a breakout can create a tight channel. That's that area we were looking at earlier.
And if you put your channel tool into it like we had with your Recon tool, for Friday's high, this is wave 2 on the descending channel. Probably be able to pick exactly what the targets are on that.
Hang on here. Let's see. We look like we're going down further. I waited too long. So I got to wait now.
I'll do it.
Hmm?
No worries there.
Oh, yeah. No, I waited too long I was looking at it possibly getting in at something. And I said, nah, I waited too long.
Gotcha.
I waited too long. I'm sitting here. This is the challenge of moderating for me and taking the trade. Okay. We're hitting that level, that pivot you can see here on the 1 minute chart. Yeah. So that is the
Close the bar through the
yeah. There's that push there.
Yeah, it's looking like it could be.
But at the same time, I don't really see where it's finding that support.
Watch. This is gonna if this pushes back up and doesn't come back down and hit this level, we'll have another point from here to here.
Yes, sir. Just realized that.
Mm-hmm.
It's tweezing off that big green
30,
wick candle.
Yeah.
30, 25 seconds on.
Remember I looked left on that 15 minute chart and I said we are coming into a liquidity zone.
Yep.
See it right here? Look at all these wicks right here. This is why wicks are important if you're watching this. Wicks at the top, wicks at the bottom. But when you get a doji party, I like that term, Jeremy.
I love that one.
When you get a doji party, look at all those, it does. Look at all those wicks and just find the bodies that align with each other and grab that with a shadow box like I did with a rectangle tool. And then you can extend it out like I did over there and boom, that's where we are right now. That's exactly where we are.
Love those doji parties.
So that's why we always look left. So we're going to see if this is going to be, a pullback. And so I'm going to clear all this off here. And I'm going to start fresh right here.
Eggs tapped, but it looks like a new one might be rolling through the door. Sorry.
Who was that?
The doji party. Looks like the
Ah.
eggs tapped. They're rolling
No.
through the door.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I missed that part. And if you can't hear guys in the background on YouTube, I apologize for that. I can read charts and do a lot of things, but some of the technical stuff in the background that make things point this way and that way, just don't have the brainwave capacity to deal with all that while I do this. So I apologize. If anybody has an idea on what settings I need to use for a ThinkPad, 16-inch ThinkPad with a 32 gigs of RAM and OBS and YouTube, tell me what to do. I'll do it.
Make the magic.
Yeah, but if y'all want me to go out there and figure it out, that ain't gonna happen. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna spend my time doing that. No. Mm-mm.
Too busy trading.
Yeah, too busy trading and too busy when you're not trading, working on trading, and it's like, that was the thing I hated about video editing was always having to deal with the software. Yeah, or updating and changing and all that stuff, tweaking. Okay, so let's see what we get here.
This is a moment of truth here. So Tesla will either, it already tapped that 168.50 target, so it'll either tweezer here and break lower, or tweezer here, roll to a double bottom, and then start to reverse. Amazon's kind of looking for a reversal here too. So. 5.57 shows double bottom probably likely on the chart. 193 low. 287 high. It's L1 and H1 right there. Amazon printed a spinner at the top of H1 there, breaks 8 period, so very likely set up a 1 minute double bottom or a bear flag. That's a cool thing to know about the double bottom, man. When you see them form, you know where the level is where they break over. Oftentimes you can draw a midpoint between L1 and H1 and set it up to where you'll see if it's going to break to L2, so you can take a quick scalp there. And then if you get in a position there and you have a trailing stop on that, and it breaks over as a bear flag, breaks through L1, you get into a really quick momentum position. Sometimes you can make a killing on that with futures.
So that was one box we broke. Here we are now.
Setups I tend to trade with trailing stop.
There's your 8. Watch that 8 and that 20 there. Are we going to get a double bottom here? That's what we're looking for. See it? Oh, dang it, that's Tesla.
Well, SPY's like virtually identical there. It's going to easily double bottom here, but like I said, if it gives you that bear flag break,
Oh, yeah.
your double bottom will typically run up. In that scenario, it'll run up, reject R1, come back to a midpoint, have a hold candle like the hammer or doji, and then if it breaks below that midpoint, it'll usually head for the low of L1 and create your L2. And then that L2, if it breaks support there, it'll run through the floor and become a measured move. Then you have a pause on the trend and a measured move down. If it doesn't break that floor, you'll get that double bottom and react back to the midpoint, then back up to R1, and then you decide if it's going to be a full bear flag or if it's just going to be a positive trend.
We're going to see here. It's slowing down a little on us. So now either this is going to be, like you said, a pause. We do technically have a pullback on the 5-minute chart right here. That pullback, a pullback generally, just so everybody knows, is on a bear channel, is when the high of a candle goes beyond the high of the previous candle. So this is technically a pullback right there because it came above the high of this green candle, this high wave doji right here. So that is technically a pullback. Same thing on the happens on the way up. This right here, this red candle on the 5-minute chart, its low is lower than the previous candle, and that made it a pullback right there. Obviously, red candle here is probably a pullback on a smaller time frame.
L2 has been made slightly higher than L1. We're at the midpoint between R1 and L1 right now.
And your 8 is trying to cross the 20. I have the Spartan over here. A little, I had the VWAP in 200. But I've got the 8 and all these purple guys. I need to make this a better color. And you're getting that curling. Yes, it is. And you're getting that curl right there. And you see that? You see where we hit that wick right here? Look at that. Look how close that bend is right there to give you that curl, that angle like that. You could take a regression tool.
What are those purple or violet?
Oh, that's the Bollinger Bands. Yeah, these are Bollinger Bands. This is the Spartan. This is a Jeremy chart I call for fun.
The Bollinger Bands are great because you can use them to identify the expected length of a trend. Even though you know where the liquidity zones are, it gives you that little edge that you can get where you can stay in a trade a little bit longer.
That's that regression line for these 3 candles right here.
Yes.
Just for fun, huh? Okay, let's see what happens here. We're coming back into this area right here. What could be happening on this 5-minute chart is that when we're going to watch and see, it looks like a double bottom right now. That might be what it is, but it could also be coming back to test the open as resistance, if you will, or bearish support before it continues down. So that's why you make those if this then that statements. A lot of those are basically you're doing that in your head, right? You're just saying, man, if price goes here, then I can do this, and then it will do this, and then maybe it'll do this, and then you look for those statements, and then if it breaks, does one of the things you're looking for, then you can say, okay, well that looks more like this, so then I can do this. But if you just jump in and you start trading as soon as you see candles pulsating, undulating, that's trouble.
Big trouble. I mean, that's not to say that you can't catch a quick scalp off the double bottom.
Right.
Not to say you can't catch a quick scalp. My style is I'm looking more into intraday swings than I am for the quick scalp. Now I do get the quick scalp, and I do pretty well on those. It's like, oh, that's gonna pop. Like I said, penny stock day comes in, you say, oh yeah, that's gonna pop, grab it. And those are quick decisions. So yeah. So being able to spot targets fast, that's the key for me. That's why I like the quant tool. It gives me those things fast. I still use my shadow boxes because I still see areas that I need to look at as liquidity zones or supply and demand, areas of interest.
There's your H1 breach, and you got an interesting line there. You got that trend line coming out. It's like a fan line. And if you think of the double bottom, maybe consider it like a fan line anchor or an anchor point for your fan line. And if it starts to trend on that line above H1, double bottom, you get a good idea of where the anchor support is.
Watch this, Jeremy.
Oh man, it's like watching the forward flights from Matrix in slow motion.
Now, just so you know, these are colors that are in the system. These are default colors. And what I've done is I found a regression. That's a GAN fan, GANN. And what I've done is I found the regression line that I took earlier on 3 candles, and I went and took the GAN fan and I matched its middle right up with that regression line. Now what these fans do is they give us these 3 lines. Not so much these lines. I could probably do it in 3s just like I go in and edit the property. But these 3 lines right here represent basically 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 type thing. And they give you, potential direction of a stock. That's all it does. It's just potential. But if the more you learn about price action, then when you put all these tools together, you understand what they're used for and how it can help you, look to see what price is doing and to hit those targets.
Tesla double bottom did follow through. Spies looking next. It just tested R1. Amazon is actually making a little rounding bottom here. break back through set chance of retracement to about $1.30.
So what we have so far right now is we still have with the same thing I used earlier with my single line here. I'm gonna blow this up. I was hoping that was going to stay bearish, by the way. The same thing, not a bias. It was just, I want to do that. So we have price moving away from an area, but it's still below that moving average. Just like I said over here, I wanted to see red bars below that moving average, right? And I did. I got 3 of them. That's it. Before we get this. So right now, this wick here tells us that the bears were trying to break it down lower. This little indecision right here says that we had almost equal bullish and bears, right? But then we get this really big, strong green candle, but it stops below the 20 moving average at EMA that I have here. So again, if it's going to be bullish, I need to see it cross this line strongly and stay above it for at least 1 or 2 candles. But we have all this other stuff going on this chart here. This is basically, this side and this side are basically the same. I just drew them on different sides so I can get this channel there. But we have the bullish and bearish targets now where we can go using the markets, using what I call the waltz of the market, the funky waltz, where we're counting in 3s. So we could, get to this 50% level, or we could just here, this says 66%. It's really 33% right now. Somewhere there it is, 33%. This might just be the end of the retracement and we come back down, or it could go up here and we come back down. But if it breaks above this 20 EMA and we get back into this bullish sense, then we could hit those levels up higher today. Or just maybe even range. It might just do this all day long. And that's okay too, because you can get scalps. Or you can go up to the top of the range and, sell and buy at the bottom of the range.
This kind of market condition where we've got an FOMC meeting in the middle of the week is prime territory for range days up to it.
Right. And but you can trade those range days. Jeremy, you've taught us that.
So much trading range days.
Yeah. And the thing is the longer you do this, the more you watch the charts, and the longer time you spend, in front of the more time you spend in front practicing and learning the things to look for. And once you learn what to look for, once you start seeing the market cycle itself, things change and everything. And I'll say this again, I've only been a member of Bullish Bears. I've never been a member of any other trading group. This is where I've learned, I'll say 98 to 99% of everything I know I've learned in this room from this group, getting directed to books or different teachers, watching everything in the trading rooms where I mostly learned. So, you can learn how to do this stuff, but it takes time. It really takes time. And once you start getting a hang of the patterns and seeing the repetitiveness and the cyclicalness, and you start seeing things the way the market makers are making them, then you can make really great decisions and make some really, really good trades. And everything I'm doing here on intraday level with these quant tools and these percentages that I've been talking about, this 1, 2, 3, ABC 1, 2, 3, and the 3 phases of the market, you can really apply this to daily charts once you get the hang of it. Because daily charts look a little different. Come on, let's face it, they look different. I mean, it's price action, but I mean, look at the freaking gaps that you get on a daily chart sometimes. That you won't necessarily have on an intraday chart. Oh, this looks pretty normal to me. I'm starting to see it, I guess. But you can apply that quant tool on a daily chart, and you can see that we've made a 50% retracement. And that's why I say we look bullish. This looks bullish to me right now. This looks like a pullback. If it doesn't come all the way back down here, I mean, this could just be a pullback and a bull flag right now. And you can go there. You can see a cup and handle too. And and if we grab that point from here to there, let's get rid of this one. If we grab that point again, we're talking about wicks, and I can't remember exactly who it was that asked me about those wicks. Tripacer, I think. And we can talk about those wicks, and that's what I did. I went and got this wick here, and I went and got this wick here. And why did I do that? Well, that's a run. To me, that's a little bull run, a little bullish move. And it started down here on that red candle and ended here. And this is where we are today. So you can see that from the bottom of this move to the top of this move, pulling back here is a 33% retracement. Wow. I mean,
Might
what the heck? There we go. Wow.
might get a swing trade set up here on my AMD to lock in my call side of the condor if I would hold that through earnings. I guess they it's on the 31st. Is it after or is it before?
I don't know. What time is it? 11:08? Huh.
It's about the time to start looking into some swings. But this is a risky market to swing, just so you guys know.
Yeah. This is very interesting.
Until FOMC is over with, but if you wanted to go and build some neutral positions, it might be worthwhile to do that. Just remember that usually right up to the moment that Jay Powell takes the mic, those things will be up in profit, and then all of a sudden it disappears no matter which way price goes. So be careful of that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at maybe a YOLO for AMD. I want super cheap entry on that, so let me see if I can find something. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna let some coffee out of it.
You go do that. We're going to sit here and look at these pretty colors. Look how pretty those colors are, man. Wow. Are you really?
No,
You're funny. You're funny. That was a good joke. That would have been something I would have said. That's why I knew you like to.
it's from a
Devin and I are twins. We do the same thing. We're twins. We're funny. We talk all over each other. It's like, what do you expect? God, if we're in the same room together, our hands would be flying everywhere. Now, look, just so you know, we were looking at this earlier, and we were talking about this potential double bottom here, which looks like it's a double bottom still. And I used again, TOS has some amazing tools that are just great shortcuts. And the regression channel is one of them because it draws that channel for you. And it gives you, you can sit there and do this all day long and you just draw channels and go, oh, look at that. By the way, that's a triangle which has 1, 2, 3 parts. So you can just, you can find these. It gives you a line in the middle that Jeremy's always talking about. He goes, when you draw your channels, don't forget to draw that middle line. It's a regression line. Man, and now Jeremy has had to do this on Webull, and I'm sitting here, farting around doing it with, one move. It's like, yeah. It took me a little while to get to that, but these are tools again in TOS, and of all the tools that I use, the most ones that I use are my trend line, my price line. When I'm teaching or putting stuff up, I use my text notes, but for intraday, it's my trend line, my price line, it's my rectangle tool, my channel tool. I use regressions, and then I use the quant tool. Those are my main tools. I will use this little finger guy every now and then to move my chart around. And like I said, I'll use the text box for teaching. And when I'm teaching, I'll use the text box, the arrow, and the oval. But I mean, basically what I'm saying is this. I'm using shapes to make trades because it is in some ways, once you start to see it, it becomes that elementary.
that's exactly the way I trade. Draw shapes.
And with SIG, we use crayons, right? You got to remember that's we're drawing it with a crayon. All right. So, all right. Let's see what happens here.
Too early. Darn it. All right. I was trying to.
Don't chase it.
Nope, I'm not gonna. I was trying to find a good YOLO on AMD just before it broke into this reversal pattern.
And you've got that option stuff down.
I would have had a $5 line spread for 5 cents. It's already worth 8 cents. It's,
Now we,
oh well.
well, you, hey, look at our fan, Jeremy.
I know I can't fan something.
Look, this is the middle. This is the regression line.
That's so stinking cool. I love all the different tools we can put into this, but like I love being able to
Simple.
better understand.
Yes, I do too. But I like candles, and you've got me really. This is all your fault, by the way. You were the one that turned me on to go look at Al Brooks. Okay, I did, and I'm like, well, guess what? By the way, you didn't say it that way. I wasn't making fun of you. You said, go check this out. And you sent me a little thing, and that was it. And I said, wow, you mean you can actually just look at the candles, make trades?
I remember when you told me you were really excited. You were like,
Yeah. Victoria was in here one of the first times I did it, candle for candle. It was Jeremy and I were farting around one afternoon, we're cutting up, laughing, and we were going candle for candle.
That's so interesting.
You remember that? Because I've been trying to, I like my little training wheels here. I do like the moving averages. I rarely use my bottom indicators anymore, guys. I mean, I'm basically making trades off of this, making my decisions off of this chart right here that you see.
I don't even put my secondary indicators up.
Yeah, it's like I don't. It's like I mean, you notice on the futures, I don't have any volume. That's going to drive some people crazy. But I don't need it for the first 2 hours.
Watching that day volume profile on 5 second chart or 10-second chart.
Yeah, yeah.
That is-
The ES.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is killer to that.
Well, one thing it does is it tends to it's almost like a leading indicator because
Right.
it will tick down, and when you see it crawl down like a spider on the wall, it's going down.
Yep.
And it's like, oh yeah, okay. I've gotten in the trades using that thing before.
We call it, Sid calls it this too, machine gunning pivots. Every time you see one of those orders at a $5 increment on the ES stack up and stick out like a ledge, think of it like a pivot. It's a very, very short-term pivot on a 10-second chart, but still a pivot. And if you get really good at trading price action, you'll be on that 10-second chart recognizing that stuff, and you'll be like, damn, I could just literally trade this candle for candle. And you do. You end up trading candle for candle with the 10-second chart, but the candles you're actually trading are going to be the 1-minute chart candles because you can see the setup on the 1-minute. You can recognize exactly when the break is set to occur on the 10-second. Trade the 10-second chart.
15-minute candle is going to close in a couple of seconds here with that 5. Almost got that beaker looking fellow on the 5.
1-minute's got a little mini rising channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's right at your regression line.
I'm just taking this regression line tool here. I mean, it just the regression tool because it gives you the middle line. I need to go pop that middle line up, make it a little thicker.
Make it stand out.
Yeah, it needs to be. I could even make it. You know what I can do with it?
Yeah.
when you left, someone said, "Oh, we're gonna stay here and look at pretty colors," and I said, "Colorblind, kid."
He ain't messing with me.
You remember that? So that was from
Oh, where's the line for the regression? That was funny. Oh,
that
it's
was that was an old inside joke that we used to do. Colorblind, kid.
Yeah. I can't remember what commercial that was from.
It was from one of those
I got it.
popsicle commercials.
There we are.
Yeah.
There we are.
Stupid colors. It's a dog. Dog's like a color.
Let's try this and say okay. Oh, there it is. That's better. I like that. I like that. All right, I got it fixed. So you have to tweak these tools in here, and you can set once you tweak them, you can set them as a default, and then
Big
boom.
thing that I'm hearing from you as far as setting up TOS is it's all about getting the settings tweaked just right to your computer.
Yeah, tailoring them. It's like buying a suit or a nice, uh, you know, I'm trying to think of what a lady would wear. You know, it's like buying a nice an expensive dress or a nice suit. You don't just get it off the rack; you get it fitted. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could use the music analogy again, but I don't think everybody would get it. Yeah. No, I said it's like buying a guitar off the rack. You know, you buy a guitar off the rack and you go home and you try to learn how to play it and you get frustrated because you don't know what you're doing, and the damn thing feels awful, and you don't realize that you bought it off the rack and you didn't get it set up. You didn't get the thing set up to where it's in tune and get it fine tuned. And then when you get a fine tuned instrument put in your hand after you've played a crappy instrument, you realize you go, whoa. I mean, you go, whoa. I played a Strat for years, and I told this before. I played a Stratocaster for years until 2018, and somebody put a 335 in my hand, gave me an expensive $3,500 guitar, said, here, I want you to have this. And I took that thing and I got it set up, and I put in, I customized the pickups after a little while, and I tell you, that thing is like, why wasn't I playing it before? It totally changed everything. All of a sudden, yeah. Well, just Well, you got to get Gibson. It's like a car, Jeremy and Devin. You know, we talk about this. You got to get Gibson from the right year, because if you get there's some wrong years in there and the stuff was crap. Sorry, I know I'm saying this on YouTube, but everybody knows it. Even Gibson knows it.
That duplex head on it.
Oh, it's terrible, terrible. You know what? You know what's really a good guitar
I'll be right back.
is the Korean-made Epiphone. The Epiphone is Gibson's, if Gibson's Lexus, the Epiphone's, Toyota, right? And so, but the thing is, you can spend, half of what you'd spend or a third of what you would spend on getting the brand new ES335, get the Korean version, drop in a couple of pickups, get it set up, and the next thing you know, you've got a guitar that's just as good as the 335 because it's quality made. And because yeah, you're putting in a little bit of work. You go buy a $3,500 guitar, you're gonna, depending upon where you get it, you're gonna put in work on it. You're gonna have to have it set up the way you like it, and unless you do that stuff yourself, and I don't, you take it to somebody that knows what they're doing, and you let them fine tune your instruments to your specs.
That's such a beautiful.
Yeah, oh, it's great, man. So that's what I'm saying. So all this software is, and if you're out there and you're new to trading, I'm going to tell you, like I say, and like I learned myself, you'll hear a lot of things about what trading is. It's 80% patience, it's 10% risk management, 10% execution, and all that's true. But the one thing that it is when you first start, it's 100% trying to figure out how the hell the software works. And if you're trying to trade while you're trying to figure out how it works, you're going to hurt yourself. And I say that from experience.
Good advice.
Yeah, I get like an old grumpy guy. Do this and do that.
Were you flailing your hands?
No. I had my hands on my microphone. Not doing any trading. It's 11:20. I have a couple of spreads I have, but I'm holding those for a little while. Those are real inexpensive. Listening to Diamond J and trying to find those sweet spots. All right, I'll say one more thing about trades, and then when Jeremy gets back, we'll probably maybe in the YouTube in the next 10 minutes or something. But when you make a trade plan, stick with your plan. We talk about modifying them and managing trades, and I'm going to tell you about how I hurt myself last week on Friday. I had two bad trades because I entered in wrong, and then on my last one, I had I'm using a variety of things, but a lot of this, the quant tool helped me speed up to get my targets. Well, I saw price coming down, and I said, dang it, I must have got in wrong again. And one tick, quarter point on the MES, before it hit my stop, I got out. And guess what happened? It never hit my freaking stop. Not once after that did it hit my stop. And I was so mad at myself. And I said, man, and I could not say anything, but I'm going to tell y'all because I want you to know that it happens. And the thing is when you know what your strategies are and you have a plan, let your plan play out. Let the trade work itself out. If you've got targets and you're confident in what you're doing and you've got the signals, and I had all the signals for that trade, but I had a lot going on that day. Now I did have a lot of distractions because we had a show we were getting ready for Saturday, and the house was a little bit more buzzed with activity than normally when I'm trading, and so I had a couple of distractions, and that I shouldn't have been in the trades to begin with because of all those distractions. But 1/4 point, and I got out of it. And if I'd have just let my plan work out, I'd have gotten 10 points on that thing. So always, make sure you know your plan, trade it out. It looks like this is a bear flag, so be careful here. And then work out that trade plan and manage it. Work it. Let it play itself out. When I talk about managing a trade, what I should have done was let that thing play out, and then once it hits my like a third of the way, I like that third thing. I did this way before I found out about this with the market. Once it hits that third, then I can scale in on a trade if it's not a scalp, if it's a swing. Then I can buy another contract and get in, and I even set my stop where my original stop was. So, that's managing a trade and then having your target set up and then, deciding whether it's the type of trade you want to scale in or scale out of, or if it's going to be a quick scalp. But you want to do all that stuff before you get in.
40260 for this retrace target. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No.
I'm distracted. I got a call from the school. I'm Mr. Mom this week, so.
You are. And it's cool. And it looks like this is a look I look for too. You see, we've got automatic angular resistance drawn when I hit that quant tool, and we get this downward channel, and we can't. This looks like this could be the second attempt at a high, which would be touch 2 on a descending channel. You see what I'm saying?
Alright, guys, I gotta get going.
Go, baby.
Everything.
You're welcome.
You too, man.
Appreciate you, Ricardo.
Thanks for getting it and being successful, bud. You are rocking it.
Thank you. I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly.
There you go.
That's the best way to get it.
You too, man.
Jeremy, you got anything to add? Anything going on you think you're looking at right now?
Looking for some. I want to set up some condors, and I kind of want to set up one on SPY that rolls to like a Friday expiration. I'm considering one for Amazon, and I'm also considering one for AMD. As for Tesla, I'm kind of sitting on my hand, just letting the butterfly do its thing.
Let the butterfly do its thing.
Potential rounding bottom here, if it'll hold 172, it should actually continue. I see that as an IHS.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
We made the 50% retracement.
Oh, yes, we did.
Half of Friday's measured move. Right down to a wick on the 15-minute chart for Tesla.
That's exactly what I was just thinking to myself right before you said.
All right, then. We look like. Go ahead.
Crank 172.50 here with some momentum. Got potential to run back up to the fan line and almost touch 180.
That's why I was waiting for this part of the day.
This is the part of the day where you start looking for these opportunities to take these options plays. So, trying to trade futures through this part of the day, you can do it, mind you, if you've got good range or you've got a good setup where you're expecting a channel or range or something like that. You could certainly still trade futures here, but my time is more efficiently spent scouring the market for some good option setups on spreads and stuff like this. So, being that it's an FOMC week, I'm going to try and play from neutral if I can, but I'm going to try to leg it. So I want to leg call and debit spreads on price action so that I can lock some profit between the two. That'll give me some cushion. So when FOMC comes along, you've got a couple earnings coming out this week. as implied volatility falls off, I want to have that cushion in case things go sideways for too long. I want to be able to at least break even on those trades. That is the main goal, is to be able to trade from neutral to break even. Worst case scenario, that's what you want to be your worst case scenario. But if you can trade from neutral to profit, well, that's of course the best case scenario, but it's also your goal is to figure out when to take profit. So I kind of want
That's
to
why the price fell, right?
right, exactly.
Hmm.
So I have kind of a field of things that I look at when I'm looking to build a condor, for instance. If I grab a put leg and then grab a call leg, I'd like to try profit between them, but if I can't, I'm looking for equal spread. So like if I risk, 8 cents on the $2 wide, for instance, I'm gonna look for the reciprocate on the opposite side. So if I went and spent 8 cents on a $2 wide debit spread on the put side, I'm gonna look for the same on the call side. And the reason because I know that if I get a 100% return on the winning side, whichever it tends to be, when momentum does take it in a direction, that at least covers my loss on the other side. Plus, extrinsic value between the spreads, I'll probably still have a little profit in there if worst case scenario. Best case scenario, when I see it breach a 200% profit, I know that even if the losing side goes to zero, I've not only covered my losses, I've locked in 100% return. So then I can consider I can go and butterfly the winning side by selling a credit spread against it that overlaps the short leg, or B, I can just profit the whole damn thing and move it to the next trade. So I got plenty of opportunity to adjust or close an options position. And it's not always about just opening them and closing them. Sometimes it's about butterflying. That was my strategy with Tesla.
Mm.
Although with Tesla, I was looking at straight call spread. I was very bullish. Because just how on Tesla. I was the opposite. Because I saw the chart. The chart told me, hey, it's very likely to bounce around 50%. So
Right.
what I did with that is I took a position, I took profit on a quarter of those debit spreads, rolled half of that position into butterflies, and then I still held through earnings with a quarter of the free debit spreads that I had. I call them free because they're free to trade because they're not butterfly. And then 2,000% return on those free spreads. And then now I'm sitting in a position where 450% locked into the butterfly position. That's after taking a really nice return on all the spreads that are free to trade. So it can do whatever the hell it wants. I'm not going to lose. But with the butterfly where it is, I have the 200, the 205, and the 210 butterfly. And if Tesla is trading at 205 about an hour before expiration date, which is on February 17th, I stand to make maximum profit or near maximum profit. My long leg will be in the money. Short leg will be extrinsic value will fall apart in the last hour, but the short middle will actually go closer to zero because it'll only be at an intrinsic value at about an hour before closing. And I'll make the difference between the winning side that's in the money and the zero side that's at the money.
It looks like a reversal.
Kind of neat play because I've got a chance at making that comes out to be, with my risk, about an 8,200% return. Incredible gains are possible on that, but at the same time, I cannot lose. I've got 450% theoretically locked in. Even if I get early assigned, I can lock most of that in. Not a big deal.
Resistance.
Worth a risk.
Very good. Looks like we didn't make that jump all the way down. And if you look at my chart, my Tesla MES, Tesla looks like a bear flag to me.
Setting up a retrace, so you got a descending megaphone on Tesla for the 5 minute.
Yeah.
interesting look to it as well.
Well, you notice we're coming back up to angular resistance here on SPY or MES.
All right, guys, I gotta get off.
Hey, Devin, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Hope you had a good day with us. Um,
Yeah, I think I can make myself available at about one to two.
One to two? Okay. I'm gonna go do my shopping.
sounds good.
Just
All right.
just a chat.
Sounds great, guys. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, Devin. Hey, you know what? We're going to get out of here on YouTube right now. And go
Like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
like, subscribe, and ring the bell is what Devin said. And send me a message and tell me what the hell to do with this thing so I can get the volume up. Because, you know, I got the quant tool down over here in price action, but see, a lot of the stuff gets me a little headache. All right. Oh, yeah, you're right. All right, YouTube. Jeremy, you got anything to say?
So, to tell me, throw us a like. It does help the channel out, and the more we can support a little bit with the channel, the more we'll be able to do.
Yeah, you're right. We got some great things planned out, and we even got a little something coming up on February 12th. We'll tell you all about it later. All right, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you, YouTube. Bye-bye. Done.